a light. And there, in the heart of the sunrise, a rooster crowing cup of joe with Poe. It's not just coffee, it's a ritual. A moment to savor. A gentle nudge to seize the day. With every sip, feel the warmth of the sun and the promise of a fresh start. Because a great day begins with a great cup. Wake up with Poe, and let the sunrise work its magic.
Good morning and welcome to Cup of Joe with Poe. I'm your host and wayward traveler, Don P. Today I want to talk about social anxiety. Something that a lot of us artists and a lot of us people that have to deal with other people deal with. And I believe people that want a challenge in their life want to go against something, like not against something, but really have some pushback. Like, I want to try. This is taking me out of my element. That's why a lot of us do what we do, because that's us telling ourselves, challenging ourselves, like we can do better. We can get out here. I can talk to anyone. Now, some people may deal with things like me, for instance. Growing up as a child, I battled dyslexia, learning disabilities, and when I was a real small child, I used to always keep one eye closed, and I had this twitch where I'd bite my lip like this, like just as a child, and it was debilitating in some ways to have to be around people in public and they're like, what's wrong with this child? It was really difficult. Luckily there was a really good education system at that time that would really help children, and I had some great teachers. I credit a lot to them over the years that really helped. So that was something that I had to overcome myself. It wasn't easy, and I still battle with it daily. It's not as easy as people think to just turn this camera on and sit here and just spill your guts out to the world, or to bring a topic up and continue to talk about that topic, make a point, and maybe help somebody in the process. Or if you're making music and you have to portray yourself a certain way for the song or for whatever it may be, all these are factors that deal with this, that deal with self-esteem and the way we see ourselves, the way we think the world sees us. You'll find people in life, and I've met quite a few of them that were like, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. If you don't like it, don't look at it. That's a respected point of view. Truly, it is. I can understand that ideology, that this is me, this is how I move through life. Don't look at me and don't acknowledge me if you don't like what you see. Now there's a line you draw to that, because some people, now that would just be an average. Like, I don't do my hair that much, I don't shave every day, I just throw something on, it can mismatch and it could still be clean, and and I just go through life. That's just a normal, you know what I mean? Then there's, I have to put extra on. Me, I'm subject to this in the beginning stage of this, where Adidas, I want to match everything all the same. I like my Adidas, okay? So I don't go, well, I've got it tattooed on me and everything, so I guess I do take that to quite the extreme, but it's not my persona. It doesn't make me as a person. It's just what I choose to wear clothing line wise. Now, some people will get up like and have to do a whole thing in order to go through life. Good morning. Which would be, I got to do all my makeup, and there's levels of that too. Like, some women can just do basic makeup. Some women have to do a half hour of makeup, do a face, make a face to put on to go through the day. Now, these are the things I'm talking about with having self-esteem. So beautiful people obviously more than likely have high self-esteem, because they are beautiful, handsome people. They can move through life a little bit easier than ugly people. Ugly people, and there's nothing wrong with saying, I know that I'm not the most handsome guy in the world, just a regular dude, right? So when you're moving through life, you have to build some extra character to yourself sometimes. Like me, once again, back to childhood. When I was young, learning disabilities and going through LD classes and being separated from my other classmates, put a stigma on me, so I became somewhat of a clown, a class clown. I wanted to cut up and laugh and joke in class, and it caused a lot of problems in my childhood when it came to education and dealing with authority and things of that nature. I grew up in the 90s and late 80s and 90s through adolescence and stuff, so it's quite the transition, and then being taken from one environment to another. I had to build this exterior when I was younger, and then as time progressed and the older you get and the tougher things get, that will change over time to suit that environment. It'll build quite the husk on the outside. I mean, I've if I'm moving up in the world from, I'm gonna pull back for a second, from trolling to king troll. Maybe I'm just going all the way to ogre, and I have layers here. I'm like an onion, like Shrek said. He said it best, ogres come in layers, and I respect that. I feel that, I feel like that, because there's layers to us as human beings, and as you go through them layers, you get down to the core of that person, that true belief, that essence, what makes them up, as from ideologies to just the way you see the world. Are you a victim? Are you moving through life as a victor? Are you triumphant in your goals and pursuits and passions? Are you just non-biased to anything and just chill? I mean, there's so many different attitudes and walks of life and people, but once again, it all reverts back to self-esteem. We're just human beings. Strip us of everything butt naked and put everybody around each other, and then see how society moves. Them people that are making up for something in some other area through whatever they have on their outside to help match that, strip all that away and see what happens to a person. They become just a human being. It's that simple. So look at it that way. Remember that old-fashioned saying, and I've heard it time and time again, what do you do when you go on stage? And I don't know where it goes back to, but maybe I'll look that up. I imagine everyone in the room naked. Right? That's literally an analogy. It's not like the person can go out there and physically picture everyone naked. That's not what they mean by that. They mean that they're just humans too. Strip them down of everything they have on, and because when you're going in front of a camera, when you're going in front of the world, you're stripping yourself down naked for them to see, so they can tear you apart. And that's how we think when we step up onto a stage, when we step up in front of a camera. It's like, if I don't take the time to do these extra things, then I'm going to be judged for not doing those things. You know what I mean? If you didn't wipe your butt for a long time, and didn't bathe for a long time, and didn't wear shoes, and ran around, and I'm going right to it, the homeless of homeless of homeless, self-esteem is not there. It's dropped. It's gone. Maybe you'll find some that have a personality that's so overwhelming it makes up in that department, but that's what I'm talking about. The more you put into this, the more you get out. But you don't have to overdo it either. Don't let that be what your world revolves around. Sorry about that. Still getting into this coffee. All right, so that's been self-esteem. I'm hoping that I can help anybody out there. If you ever have really questions, deep questions, or anything you want to ask me, don't feel free to, goddamn, hold on. This is Cup of Joe with Poe, right? So there we go. Stoner Dog's looking at me like, hey, can I get a drink of that there coffee? Yeah, you can, girl. Ain't nothing like a little dog all wired up on some caffeine now, is there? So, self-esteem. You got it. Use it. I don't care what you look like, what you sound like, what anything is when it comes down to it. Once again, you got to draw lines here. If you're, 6'6" and wearing long nails, but you're a man with a beard and wearing lipstick, you're gonna get looked at. I mean, it's just common sense. So once again, self-esteem has to do with your appearance, how people purvey you. So remember that when you move through society and you want to get like a positive outlook and people to be more. So real quick story, prison, there's this guy, he comes in and he looks like a monster. I mean, when I say monster, I mean literally a monster. Now I take that back, it's not even prison, this is jail. This is in Lucas County Jail. And me and a buddy of mine that are in there, we just sit there and like draw and play cards with each other, and we cut up on everybody. We troll people from the guards to whoever. I mean, we go in on them like, this old, look at it, this old motherfucker, oh, get him, get him. I mean, we're just, people are trying to get away from us at this point. Like, man, these dudes are having way too much fun. They are making fun of us bad. So this dude walks in, and we both look at each other and look right at him because we're about to go in on this dude. And he looks just like the Mucinex monster. The medication Mucinex, that big green blobby thing, he looks just like that. So my dude says immediately, like, because the commercials, like, it's like timing pops up on the TV. He's like, oh, bro, you on TV right now, bro? And he's like, oh, man, and put his head down. It's like not the first time he's heard this. So as he's lumbering across the room, we're just going in on him like, this old Jolly Green Giant looking motherfucker, this old, my shoe so big it was made by a whole city in a third world country. This took a whole field of tires to make these shoes. Like, we just are just riding this dude, right? And it's just, he's crumbling as he's going further away from us. Later on, I get to talk to the guy one-on-one. We're cutting it up, and he's like, I could tell he's just a really cool dude, man. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying here. I realized then at that point in life, like, man, I shouldn't do the old saying, judge a book by its cover. I shouldn't. Just because dude looks like the Mucinex monster doesn't mean he's the Mucinex monster and he's just, you know what I mean? He was a cool dude. So once again, self-esteem. His wasn't there, and it was challenging him as he came in. He could have just cut right back up with us. Next thing you know, he'd have been sitting at the table, but everybody doesn't have that. We don't want to come out of our shells. We don't want to talk to people sometimes. But once again, we're all just human beings, and we're all looking for something here, aren't we? Just some sort of interaction, just some sort of, even if it's a good morning, and I hope you have a great day. This has been Cup of Joe with Poe. Love you guys.